After 15 years of marriage, I'm divorcing my wife. I won't be changing my mind and I won't be seeking advice. She always complains when the kids ask her for something, criticizes everything I do, and her general negative attitude is getting to me. I'm 35 years old, married at 26 years old, and have been with my wife June, a fictitious name, since we were 15. We were the ideal couple, as everyone believed when we were high school sweethearts. We shared the same ideals, aspirations, and interests. We were so dependent on one another that we couldn't fathom living apart. Our dreams included growing old together, owning a large home, a fancy vehicle, a dog, and 2 children. However, dreams do not always materialize. Even though we weren't old, after 6 months of dating, I asked her whether she ever saw herself having children. I wanted to be in agreement with my partner, and I knew that I had always wanted 2 children. She acknowledged that she wants children of her own, but I would have moved on from her if I had known how unpleasant she would turn out to be. She told me a falsehood. She told falsehoods about loving me, having children, and being content. She told lies about everything. We had an incredible first 3 years of dating. She was adored by my parents and vice versa. She was enjoyable, encouraging, considerate, and kind. She gave me joy, made me laugh, and gave me a sense of love. She was my soulmate, my greatest friend, and my lover. I knew at 18 that I wanted to marry her. When I presented her the promise ring, which I had purchased with a tiny diamond, she broke down in tears of happiness. She expressed her eagerness to wed me in the future. However, that day never arrived. When we both enrolled in college, the relationship took a turn for the worse. She insisted that I visit her every weekend, even though my school was 3 hours away. Every time I asked her to come visit me instead, she would always come up with an excuse not to come or whine about how I didn't have enough money for a bus ticket or petrol to drive all the way to her. Every weekend, her boyfriend's pals would visit them without any complaints, so I would just put up with it and either borrow money or deplete my savings. I disregarded the first warning sign because I believed I was in love. She was self-centered. She showed no concern for my wants, emotions, or circumstances. Her sole concerns were with herself, her desires, and her happiness. She used me, didn't value me, and took advantage of me. I felt bad for not being able to see her more frequently because of her. She made me feel inadequate because I couldn't provide her with more material goods, and insecure because I couldn't fulfill her more sexually. I still loved her though. I still loved her in spite of all of her shortcomings, blunders, and defects. I cherished her due to our shared past, recollections, and aspirations. I believe she loved me too, therefore I loved her. However, she didn't. When we started working after school, somehow things got worse. She stayed with her parents while I gathered money for a place of my own. I bought my own house and didn't rent it so I could just lock it up and come back whenever I wanted to. When times were hard and I was low on money and couldn't afford my bills and groceries, my parents let me stay at their place. It seems that her inconvenience stemmed from my moving out while I was having trouble. To her credit, when she got bored, she had nowhere to go. I disregarded the second warning sign as she persisted in asking how a man pays his bills. She treated others disrespectfully. She showed me no respect as a man, a partner, or a person. She showed no respect for my decisions, my efforts, or my hardships. She showed no regard for my friends, family, or career. She insulted me privately, made fun of me behind my back, and denigrated me in public. She made me feel bad about not being able to support myself more on my own. I was upset with her because I felt that I should be able to defend myself better. She assertively gave me hopelessness for making a more significant change in myself. Nevertheless, I wed her nonetheless. After she embarrassed me with the birthday gift I got her, I married her. I made the decision to pop the question on her 26th birthday and create a modest surprise for her in order to accomplish 2 goals at once. I guess it was cheap and nasty of me to pop the question at her birthday party. Since I wanted her to know that I was serious about her and wanted to marry her, I proposed with an emerald gemmed ring, even though I always knew she wanted me to go all out for her proposal and was saving up for that. She lost it. She did not stop raving about how tiny the ring was and how dissatisfied she was with this low-key engagement. She informed me that she would have rather to wait than wear that cheap ring after I told her about my plans to save money for the extravagant proposal she had been dreaming about. She lacked gratitude. She was unappreciative of everything I did, gave up for her. The affection, the thinking, and the work that went into my deeds were not appreciated by her. The ring, the proposal, and the commitment were not appreciated by her. She whined about everything. She was demanding more. She didn't settle for anything. I was ashamed of myself for not being able to buy a larger ring because of her. I was saddened by her because I couldn't satisfy her with my proposal. She made me feel bad that I couldn't go back on my choice. I still loved her though. Despite her rejection, her discontent, and her lack of gratitude, I still loved her. Because of our relationship, our vows, and our pledge, I loved her. I believe she loved me too, therefore I loved her. However, she didn't. She was a real pain in the ass when it came to getting ready for the wedding. She persisted in brushing off any suggestions I made, telling me to just pay and observe while she took care of all the preparation. She desired a large wedding, an elegant gown, and an extravagant celebration. She had high expectations for everything and desired it to be flawless by her standards. She showed little concern for my tastes, opinions, or financial situation. She dominated over me, disregarded me, and had influence over me. I felt left out of our own wedding because of her. She turned our own wedding into a boredom fest. I felt like I was stuck in our own wedding with her. Nevertheless, I wed her nonetheless. I married her because I believed it would make us happy, because I believed it to be the proper decision, and because I believed it to be what we both wanted. However, it didn't. The children now, our 2-year-old twin girls, are the cutest things ever. They are both the greatest and worst thing that has ever happened to me and us. They are sweet, humorous, cute, and intelligent. They are bold, adventurous, lively, and inquisitive. They give me joy and pride, give me a reason to live, and give me hope for the future. They aren't hers, though. She despises them. She despises them since, unlike boys, they are female. Because they resemble me rather than her, she despises them. She despises them for consuming my affection, time, and attention. She despises them just for being real. She was always grumpy after giving birth to children, and even nearly struck them because they were wailing. I gave her the reprimand of a lifetime while we were spending the weekend at my parents' place. She indicated she would seek therapy for it and attributed it to her postpartum sadness. Once more, she lied. She didn't attend treatment, and she didn't improve or transform. She grew worse. She mistreated, disregarded, and ignored them. Without giving them food, changing them, or engaging in any play, she abandoned them in their cribs for several hours. Every time they laughed, smiled, breathed, or cried, she screamed at them. When they touched something, broke something, or spilled something, she slapped them. She instilled fear in them about their own mother. Even in their own house, she brought them down. They felt unwelcome in their own family because of her. I did, however, remain with her. I stayed with her because I believed she would love them, that she would improve, and that she needed me. However, she didn't. I'm leaving her immediately. I'm taking the kids with me when I leave her.